I'm back, and I'm here to talk about identity versus ideology. And I'm also here to address the fact that many people have said Black Americans have no culture. And Black Americans have made the mistake of following educational institutions designed to keep them in the dark about their identity. I'm doing a documentary called The History of the Worldwide White Slave Trade. And the purpose of the documentary is to do two things: to reveal to you your identity here as the First Nations, America's first people, and to show your global impact on Europe, Asia, and Africa as the origin of a particular culture. At the same time, showing that white people have hidden the fact that they were slaves worldwide and why they hid that. Your psychology about yourself shapes what you will become. And we need to understand that what we're becoming is what the sorcerers have projected onto our consciousness of what we believe we are. Look behind me. Who's that guy? Coco Khan? See him riding that serpent? What culture is this? This is the she culture, which had a global empire, which I'm about to prove to you in just a few minutes. You need to know this not just because of the history of this, because of the business of culture. I operate within the tribal jurisdiction and government, and we're very successful culturally, financially, business-wise, because we know who we are. Our light is on. Not a fake light, a real light. So let's talk about this dragon and serpent culture. And keep in mind, some people wanted you to think that serpents were enemies. Who would do that? Let's start here, because the Afrocentrics told me when I said Vikings were bringing white people into the Americas, which I showed in my last video proof at the Temple of Warriors, that I was lying and making it up. Who's this? Let me give you a close-up. Who's on this boat? These are Black Viking Europeans. And my, who is this? Their servant rowing them around. White European, Black Viking, with Ndinkra symbols on the shields. Let's go a little bit further though. This book by Gwen Jones on the Vikings. See that dragon? Let's get a close-up. Dragon culture. Where does this come from? We also see it here with Uraeus. Now Uraeus comes from Uraeus, which is the serpent. And this is a depiction of one of the four kings, and his name is Baal. Isn't Baal an enemy in the Bible? But I told y'all who wrote the Bible. Ouroboros. Notice this circle. The Vikings have it. The Europeans have it. Now let's go to the mother culture. You see it. Kukulkan was the imperial symbol originating in the Americas, spreading throughout Africa, Europe, and Asia. Just in case you didn't think it was in Asia, it was there. Now let's make some sense out of it. Who are these people? The Ushi in Georgia. Notice the red, blue, and white. Red, white, and blue? Isn't that the American flag? Amongst natives in America? With the name She in Georgia? Wait a minute. Andrews. Is your last name Andrews? These are your people in Europe. You didn't get Andrews as a last name from slave masters. See the red and the blue? Watch this. Yeah, the heraldry tells the whole story. Red, white, and blue. I can show you this in Egypt. I can show you this in Mexico. I can show you this in America before the United States of America was ever formed or before they ever had a flag. What was the red, white, and blue? It was the 3 rites of passage stages: entered apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. Now, the word masnoon is where you get the word mason from. It comes from the Moors. But this initiatory rites of passage, 3-level initiation originated in Mexico. Red, white, and blue. Remember the symbol of Powhatan. You see it on the European shield. Watch this. Don't forget where it came from. Right here. It's on my shoulder. Right there. Olmec, the she. Powhatan. Where does this symbol come from? It comes from us in America, and we spread it across the world. Watch. 1816, when Andrew Jackson and Duncan Clinch went into Florida to take over the Yamasee under the pseudonym Seminoles. What does it say? What did they have? The chief informed me that the Negroes had a red flag and the English Jack was flying over it. What's the English Jack? There it is. The Moors in Africa, Great Britain, their flags flying in Florida while we're fighting against the newly formed United States of America in the South. A global culture. So what does Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl in this circle represent? Why is the dragon eating his own tail? Why do we find this all across Europe, Africa, Ouroboros? Let me let the secret out. It's Draco, the dragon, the 25,000-year precession of the equinox cycle, which matches the oldest calendar on Earth. Not in Egypt. You can't explain the dragon swallowing itself in Egypt. Not in Europe. Not in Asia. You challenge me, I'll challenge you. Go find a 25,000-year calendar in Asia, Africa, or Europe. You can't. But guess where we can find this at, which is the origin of this culture in America. I always bring the receipts. No one had this calendar. Each of the years called a tune by the Maya, aka the she, in these dates is composed of 360 days. If we return to the creation date, which is 20 cycles set at 13, we see that it will take 41 octillion, 943 septillion, 40 sextillion tons for the highest cycle. Are you listening to what I'm saying to you? Let's show you. These cycles give us a calendar date from our ancestors in America of 41 octillion years ago, using the precession of the equinox cycles. Here we go. It represents the oldest nation on Earth, the dragon symbol. And the dragon is Kukulkan, later Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, to show us how old we are. The global culture was ours. Cranial deformation, Maya, Olmec, South America, Africa. We took that there. And lastly, the Pangea thesis. I can show you that we were here and Pangea was not the beginning. This is the oldest map in the world. People have tried to say it's fake. Test me. And here are the progressions. Here you have the continent that sunk, the 8th continent now, Zealand. After the cataclysms, then the eventual formation of the world that we have. Our culture was global. The global dragon culture, Kukulkan, came from America and spread across the world.